It would be fun and exciting.
We also had a lot of things we wanted to tell.
Welcome to CS News.
I'm Chasey.
And I'm Spencer Gilbert. For our first story today, it is about a man who hasn't lost checkers in years.
Does he fix the board before he plays?
It's not fixed.
Okay. Now to sports.
Today we'll be talking about the NFL lockdown. How did they get out of it? How the lockdown came to be. The lockdown of the NFL started for many reasons. The main reason it started was the contract with the players ended. It was kind of like the shutdown that the government had. There was a ton of meetings that they both had to attend to resolve their problems. Finally, they turned out okay. News about the NFL lockdown. The NFL's contract is back up and running. Now the lockdown is over and the football season is back on. That means now we will be able to see our favorite teams battle it out to the Super Bowl in Indianapolis. Come back to sports next time and see us go over NBA highlights of the playoffs. Now back to Spencer and Chase.
Now to weather.
Skies will be clear today, but a cold front is moving into Nevada. Tomorrow, partially cloudy with a slight chance of showers. Besides the bad weather, there is one good thing. The latest budget battle ended about 1 hour and 30 minutes before it was due. All the people in Congress agreed to one budget. Now back to Spencer and Chase.
Now for our big story today.
There's a big debate, speech, and election going on right next door, so we're going to broadcast that and go get some interviews. So Seth, what is the purpose of government?
The purpose of government is to keep every human being in balance with one another. Without the government, there would probably be major chaos throughout the U.S. There would be constant war, murdering, theft, and a ton of other serious catastrophes.
What is the idea of democracy?
The idea of democracy is a system in which people decide matters together or collectively by voting. Democracy was created by ancient Greeks. The word democracy means demos, people, and kratos, rule. The meaning is rule by the people.
What is the election process?
The election process starts with the person saying he's running for president or governor or mayor. Then he or she starts campaigning. Then the people vote to try to convince the Electoral College. The Electoral College is the states have electoral votes based on how big the population is. Then the Electoral College vote for who they think should be the president. Then they tally up the votes and tell who wins.
What is the role of national, state, and local government?
We are not ruled by another country. The national government has the power to veto laws such as president and executive. The state government helps govern the states by helping finance money and make sure the laws are being followed. The local government is the mayor. They help determine the way out our local area runs. How many jobs are needed, and how many people pay their bills?
What is the system of checks and balances?
Our government is made up of 3 branches: judicial, executive, and legislative, also called Congress. All the branches have different responsibilities. Checks and balances prevent one of them from gaining too much power. So what powers do they have? The executive, legislative, and judicial powers are very limited due to checks and balances system. The president ensures enforcement of the laws in our country. In part, he does this by appointing leaders for many departments in our government. I'd be proud to have these privileges.
Can you summarize some of the important U.S. documents?
The Constitution. I believe the Constitution is the highest law in the United States. All laws come from our Constitution. I believe it says of lots of important things. That's just how our government works. I think this is very important to our government because most of our laws come from the Constitution. Why wouldn't it be important? The Bill of Rights states the first 10 amendments. The first amendment states that people can demonstrate peacefully. The second amendment allows people the right to keep and bear arms. The third amendment says the police can search a subject if they have reason to suspect criminal activity. Those are only 3 of the 10 amendments. The Declaration states that the people are born with rights that cannot be taken away, such as life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The preamble states, we the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union and establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide a common defense, promote general warfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and prosperity. I'd be honored to be the original president.
Jake, what's the purpose of government?
Well, I think that's maps equals spam.
What's the idea of democracy?
Democracy is world hunger.
What's the election process?
When somebody wants to get picked as a president.
What's the role of national, state, and local government?
Well, local government's the mayor. Not sure what he does.
Summarize some of the U.S. documents.
I-20.
And what's the system of checks and balances?
I think checks and balances has something to do with paying people.
Okay, so now we're going to have a live election.
Peace.
Okay. So, if you want Seth to be West Coast Regional President, raise your hand.
Raise them high, people.
Okay. And if you want Jake to be your West Coast
Party
Regional
on.
President,
I'd go
Oh,
back
come.
and drop little head.
I don't know.
so give a round of applause for your new West Coast Regional President, Seth Pope.
Woo!
You won't be hearing from my dad. He's a dentist.
Since you won, what are you going to do now?
I'm going to Disney World.